Oh yeah, Chazzy boy, you're going down. Hey, what is up, YouTube? This is the Mermaid Master coming at you guys from the Team Time Riders YouTube channel with another deck profile today. And today we've got another character deck for a little known character in the Yu-Gi-Oh anime for GX. He only appeared in one episode and only had one duel, which he lost. Now, if you guys haven't figured it out already, it is the one and only Reginald Van Howell III. Big shoutouts to Dark Magic Ian. This is one of his favorite character decks to play against. But it nevertheless is a very, very interesting deck because it's basically like Warrior Strike, but he ran like a lot of different other stuff. So he, I think, was a character in here to try and sell the Warrior Strike structure deck, and hopefully it worked out for Konami. Either Warrior Strike or Warrior's Triumph. I forget which one it was, but nevertheless, I thought it was a very, very interesting kind of play style that he had in the deck. And he had a very, throw everything on the board and hope everything works kind of playstyle, which of course cost him very, very dearly when he equipped a whole bunch of things to Guilford the Legend and just got completely blown out by Chaz. But anyway, guys, let's get into this deck profile and I'll show you why I run certain cards. So starting out, we got one copy of Guilford the Legend. This guy is your, I guess, boss monster, but you don't really use him or see him that often, and unfortunately that's because of the heinous restriction on Guilford, which basically says that he cannot be special summoned. So when he's normal summoned, though, it's tough to search him and stuff like that, but when he's normal summoned, you can target any number of equipped spell cards in your graveyard and equip them to Guilford, and basically just boost him up really, really high and give him like a whole bunch of stuff, and then that's pretty much it. But Guilford the Legend is nevertheless your boss monster and a very, very strong card if you can get those equipped spells out. Unfortunately, that lack of special summon ability and the fact that Great Sword, the card that allowed Reginald Van Howell to tribute summon this card in the first place, does not exist. Of course, you have things like Tribute Doll and other things, but those only work for level 7 or lower monsters. So it's very, very tough to get Guilford the Legend out on the field, and if you do get him out, pretty much you're going to be winning anyway. But still a fun card, and you got to run it in here because it's a card that he ran. Now, starting things off, we've got the, since this is an equipped card, we've got the Gearfried engine. So we've got 2 Gearfried the Iron Knight and 1 copy of Gearfried the Swordsmaster. Of course, I'm still running the 1 Release Restraint, which you'll see later in the deck. But Gearfried the Iron Knight is really good for big, massive plays that you can do. And then Gearfried the Swordsmaster always likes those equipped cards, and every time he equips, he destroys a monster. But that's a mandatory effect, so make sure you know that. Funny thing about Gearfried the Iron Knight, I actually was playing against a Gradle player, and he was running just Gradles, no Kaijus. He couldn't beat over Gearfried the Iron Knight, which is crazy because Gearfried destroys every equip that equips to it. So Gearfried destroyed the Gradles, got him equipped, and then they would pop off of him right away, which is absolute madness, guys. Very, very funny interaction. That's why I love the game so much. Next, we're running Dark Blade. Dark Blade was in the Warrior Strike structure deck, and it feels like, one of those powerful types of cards he would run. And of course, wouldn't be Reginald Van Howell with 2 copies of Marauding Captain. I'm thinking that I want to bump this number up to 3, but I have not been able to find another First Ed ultra rare copy in good enough condition where I would consider it. I'm trying to max rarity this deck out because I feel like a rich asshole like Reginald Van Howell would have a max rarity deck like that. Next, we've got Ninja Grandmaster Sasuke, also in that deck as well. Thinking about taking him out because I think ninjas are not Reginald's style. He likes things that, are very, open out and out there fighters and not, sneaky fighters like ninjas. So that's one of those things. The next card that we're running is a set of them. We've got Mystic Swordsmans, level 2, 4, and 6. These guys are actually really good for destroying defense position monsters your opponent controls. Specifically Mystic Swordsman level 2, because he's the only one who can be normal summon. The other guys, actually, they have to come out when, either when Mystic Swordsman level 2 destroys something by battle, or, you can special summon them out from the graveyard, unlike the other guys. So 4 and 6 can come out pretty easily if you have them in the graveyard, or by Marauding Captain's effect. Next, guys, we are running one copy of Armed Samurai Ben-K. You know it's an equip spell card. I've had this Ben-K for years, so no better place to put him in than here. Since I'm missing Warrior Lady of the Wasteland, DD Warrior Lady takes her place, and what better one to run than my super rare first edition copy of her. Very, very cool card. Banishes everything on contact, and very useful. If I get Warrior Lady of the Wasteland, I will put her in. Next, we've got Goblin Attack Force. Same reason. In the Warrior Strike Structure deck and First Ed. Feel like this is also a card that Reginald Van Howell would run because of its high attack power. We have Swift Gaia, the Fierce Knight, of course. Also in the Warrior Strike Structure deck. But basically, Swift Gaia, when he's the only card in your hand, allows you to normal summon him without tributing. A card that Yugioh ran, a card that's in the Warrior Strike Structure deck, and that 2300 attack and 2100 defense are actually super useful for a card I'll show you later. The final couple of cards in the deck, we have Obnoxious Celtic Guard, who's actually very, very useful if your opponent doesn't have any effects to get rid of monsters. Of course, you're not probably going to be going up against meta with this. If you are, meta's got a way to destroy everything, a way to search everything, and a way to special summon everything. And so, pretty much if Obnoxious Celtic Guard is coming out, unless you build a field of 3 to 4 negates, which this deck cannot do, you're pretty much screwed from there on out. Next, we've got Exile Force. I've got my LOD first edition copy of this card. Very, very good card. It's popping things. Pankratops kind of, took away Exiled Force's thunder, but nevertheless, Exiled Force can be searched, so that's a good thing. Wish there was more stuff to search the cards in this deck. And finally, closing things out with these Sisters, Command Knight and Valkyrian Knight. Two amazing, amazing cards. Command Knight basically does not allow itself to get attacked, and then Valkyrian Knight redirects all attacks to it. And so Valkyrian Knight is actually a nice extra card that you can use to create that same quote-unquote Marauding Captain lock. So that's very, very useful. And definitely cards that I think will stay in the deck when I make it more quote-unquote Reginald Van Howell-y. Now, I did take a couple of liberties with cards in this deck to allow it to run in the modern era, so you're going to see some interesting and new equip spell cards and other cards that we're running. First and foremost, we've got Magical Midbreaker Field. In here only at 1 because it is at 1. Basically protects all of your monsters and quote-unquote your opponent's monsters during main phase 1 and main phase 2. You don't have anything in this deck that would directly, you don't have any card effects besides Exiled Force that would destroy it, so that's definitely something to work on here. Next, we got Lightning Vortex. Pretty much same reason. Destroy your opponent's stuff. No Raigeki in here because he did not run Raigeki, and I don't know if Raigeki was even legal during the GX era, as we never actually saw Raigeki being run by anybody. Next, of course, we got the one MST and the one Monster Reborn. Both copies were in that deck. And then we've got Reinforcements of the Army and the Warrior Returning Alive. Thought about bumping Warrior up to 2. I wish I could run 3 Rhoda in this deck. That would make it so much more consistent. But obviously, we know why Rhoda has to be in here at 1. And there's no way that they can make a card that supports all the different random warriors in this deck without making it support some other crazy strategies. Now we've got Swords of Revealing Light, of course, and 1 copy of Release Restraint for the Gearfried combo. You don't want to run more than 1 of that. You know the reason why. But both really, really good cards, so, got to run them in here and just make sure that your opponent can't get at them. Now, guys, moving on to the equip spells. This is where everything happens. So, starting things out, we've got the Legendary Sword spell card. If you want to take a look really, really quickly here, I don't know if Reginald Van Howell or the Warrior Structure deck had this, but I feel like this is a card he would run, considering the fact that if we take a look back at Gilfer the Legend is actually wielding what looks to be either a very similar copy or the Legendary Sword itself. So, I think that's really, really cool, and it harkens back to, it's a card that harkens back to that old era LOB when Legendary Sword came out. Next card we're running, of course, is 1 copy of the Divine Sword Phoenix Blade from the structure deck itself. Very, very cool card and very, very beneficial to run. Next, we've got 1 copy of Lightning Blade. I'm not sure if he actually ran this card, but this card actually came in very, very useful. against, I believe it was that same Gradle player. Because all the Gradles are water, and Lightning Blade has an extra added special ability of decreasing the attack power of all the waters by 500, so it's every water on the field by like 500. So it's actually incredibly useful against very, very specific decks. And so, you know, sometimes old cards will have benefits that you won't even see coming. I think that card was run against like Mako Tsunami to decrease his water monster's attack or something. I don't even know. Next, we got Fusion Sword Murasame Blade. Protects itself from like MST and stuff like that. And nice equipped spell, gives a nice 800 boost. And finally, Wicked Breaking Flamberge Bayo, which was a card that Reginald Van Howell also ran. Now, moving on to the brand new equipped spells, we have 3 of them. We've got Magnum Shield, Mordschlag, and Solitary Sword of Poison. I feel really, really great about all 3 of these equipped cards. Starting off with Magnum Shield, of course, one of the best of the new equipped spell cards. Basically because he is just like increases, you know, basically he can, this card can shore up the defenses or attack powers of your monster by giving whatever the attack or defense is to, you know, whatever you've got. So it's very, very cool card. Some monsters in this deck, like Marauding Captain, don't really have high attack powers, but it's still very useful. Solitary Sword of Poison, when it's the only card that you control. Basically use Solitary Sword of Poison to double the attack power of whatever monster is the only one on your field during the damage step. And then finally, Mordschlag to close it off. Mordschlag just came out in Dark Neosphere. Really, really excited about this card because I think it was made for this kind of deck. You know, it's a normal summon card, makes your monster unaffected by the effects of special summon monsters. And then when you attack, a special summon monster your opponent controls loses attack power equal to the original attack of the monster you equipped with Mordschlag. So you can actually do insane amounts of damage to your opponent just literally with this card. And the higher up you boost your monsters, you know, you can have like a Guild for the Legend who's got Mordschlag equipped, and big benefits will come from that. So guys, that's it for that. And then finally moving on to the last couple of equip spells, and it's 2 copies of Mage Power. As you're aware, guys, you'll obviously be equipping a ton of monsters with equip spells. Mage Power can get up to 2,000 to 2,500, and you'll also have, like, you know, field spell access and stuff like that. So your monsters can get massive. I got Guild for the Legend up to 11,000 before. Very, very cool. And we had a battle with Dark Magic Ian's father, the Dark Sage, where we did an 11,000 attack Guild for the Legend versus a 7,300 attack Guild for the Lightning in a final showdown. I ended up getting Magic Cylindered in that, but it was still amazing and insane to bear witness to that. But Mage Power is also very, very good. And then finally, to close things out, we've got Magic Jammer, Blast with Chain, and Royal Decree. And that's going to do it for the traps and the deck. So, guys, you might be asking what can you use to bring it up to the modern era? If you really, really want one of the best cards to run in this deck, of course, guys, is Isolde, Twin Tails of the Noble Knights, because this deck is literally the precursor to Noble Knights with warrior equipped spells and all sorts of good stuff like that. But, you know, it can help your Guildfords to get quite big and really help out your field presence and stuff like that. So guys, thanks so much for watching this video. If you liked the video, please remember to rate, comment, subscribe on the Team Time Riders YouTube channel. The channel grows because of you guys. With that being said, guys, thanks so much for watching once again. This has been the Mermail Master with the Team Time Riders YouTube channel, and I'm signing out. Catch you guys next time. Peace.